17.3. More of my opinions, my beliefs. I don't know how long I'll be on here, but I'm going for it. So, I got cut off the other day. Now, I was ending up saying that, you don't own this land. And according to even your own government, the way it's structured, the only one that could be a president of the United States of America is an American citizen. Now, it seems to me that the only real American citizens that there are in this country are Native Americans because they were here before all the you immigrants came. So the Native Americans should be the ones that are in charge of this country because this is their country and it always has been, and you stole it from them. So, I mean, everywhere you go, you destroy people, you kill people, you commit genocide in different countries, and you take over and you run control of everything, and you run us into the ground, you treat us like slaves, and it needs to stop. I mean, every government around the world is pretty much full of corruption, and it's time for all the people of the world to unite together and stand up and tell these governments we're done with this bullshit, man. It's time. It's time for a new rule to be put in place. The new Global Community Council. And we need to put my PAN plan into action. Like I've said before, you can find it on my Facebook under Lee Pan. My titles are Dr. Reverend Lee Pan. These are pen names that I use. I have many pen names that I use. And I have many different ways that I talk to people through these pen names. But it's time. It's time for everybody to join together because this is not the way it was meant to be. I mean, we need to stop this. It's insanity. And we need to focus on taking care of each other and creating a beautiful world and recreate the garden that these monsters have been destroying. And I mean, come on, it can't be like this, people. You have to give your ways up. You have to change or you're going to be the end of yourselves. You're all going to die because of this stupidity that you allow to happen. And you need to stop it. If you got to have politicians, like I said, I gave you a list of politicians. That, if you have to have politicians, that's probably your best bet. But, to be all honest with you, the real deal is that, it's the people of the world that need to join me. And we need to restructure all this into a new global community council, a new government that rules over the entire world with decent, honest people in control and not these rich, corrupted criminals. We need to take all these corrupted, huge corporations out of every country, out of every town, out of city, out of every village, wherever they're at. Ban them. Do not buy their products. Ban them. They will go broke. Don't let them rule you anymore. You need to start building your own communities. Grow your own food and medicines in your own communities. Mother Nature's, not these poisons that they give you and sell you on the market to destroy you, because that's why you're all getting sick. That's why you've all been getting sick. That's why you've always been getting sick. So, it's time to wake up, people. The games are all over with. This is the real deal here. And if you don't understand this, and if you can't see this, then it's going to be the end of you and everybody in your family, everybody you love, everybody you know, everything that you care about is going to be gone. Because you will not stand up for yourselves. And you're 99% of the population. And like I said, you need to join us, the 144,000, me and my brothers and sisters, the Warriors of Nine. Well, guess what? You're all Warriors of Nine, too. 99% of the poor population are you. 99%. 9 plus 9 is 18, and 1 plus 8 is 9. You are all Warriors of Nine, and it's time for you to rise. And it's time for you to take back what belongs to you. Take control of your countries. Take control of your communities. Help your neighbors and your friends and your family. Band together. And let's get rid of these monsters out of our society. Let's get rid of all these hate groups and these races and these murderers and pedophiles and rapists and all these other things that destroy our civilization on a daily basis, on an hourly basis, on a minute, a second basis. You know, it's madness. And everything that's good for you, they try to outlaw, and everything that's bad for you, they push down your throat. And it kills you, and it needs to stop. It all needs to stop. It's time to evolve. It's time to grow up. It's time to pull your pants up and stand up for your rights, because you're being screwed. And, you know, anybody out there, because I know some people in the world is hearing this, maybe. But anybody that's hearing this, you know, you need to share this, because I'm being suppressed. I mean, all my videos and everything are being suppressed, and I know I am, but, you know, I'm getting ready to go public, you know, all the way around. If I have to go out there and start doing this stuff on the streets and go from town to town, to state, and country to country, or whatever it takes, my word will get out. And people will know what these monsters are, because the time has come. The time has come, children, for you to rise up. There has been several revolutions throughout your history. Your history has all been twisted as lies. Your religions have been twisted into lies. Everything's been twisted into lies. But the only real thing that you can really take for granted is what you can see with your own eyes. Open them up and look at what's going on. Look what they have done to our planet. Look what they are doing to our oceans. Look what they are doing to our air. Look what they're doing to our soil. Without all of those, you are nothing. You will not exist. You will die. And as I've told you before, and I've told you many times before, they want to kill over 7 billion people on the planet. And the fastest way to do that is to destroy your food source, your air source, your water source. And that's what they're doing. Because we never needed any of these. We didn't need fossil fuels. Never. We don't need coal. We don't need oil. We don't need none of that stuff. We definitely don't need nuclear power. We got everything we need, natural forces right here that we can do everything with, and I'll teach you how to do it. Every bit of it. I've told you this 1 billion times. You know, you need to wake up, because it's time. It's time for a change. It's time to take these monsters out and put them in prison where they belong. It's time to shut down all these huge corporations, shut down these oil fields, shut down these oil mines, coal mines and whatever else. And, you know, you got to take another look at this. You know, remember I was telling you about how sucking the oil out of the planet is leaving all these hollow pockets in there, okay? So I want you to use your imagination or whatever you got to do. But take and say you got a round, solid ball. And that ball is, we'll just say a styrofoam ball, because it's easy for you to carve out, okay? And now around the world, remember this now, 70% of the planet is water. And you only see less than half of the planet. You never see more than the other half of the planet. They hide from you. It's been hidden for hundreds of thousands of years. But anyway, you got this round ball. It represents your planet. Okay, so let's do it on a global scale, just to say it is a whole planet. Okay, 70% of your world is water. So that leaves 30% that is land. You understand this? Okay. All wrapped around the world now. Now, you guys are pumping oil out of it, leaving empty caverns in the ground where the oil used to be. You're digging coal out. You're digging gold and silver out. You're digging everything out of the ground, and you're making other materials, and you're building it on top of the ground. You're building all these cities and roads and all this extra weight on the ground. So you're taking all your foundation out from underneath your planet and leaving these big giant holes all over the frickin' place. There are empty pockets that are caving in now, and that's where all these sinkholes and everything's coming from and everything, and the waters that just start draining into nowhere. Guess what? They're draining into all these holes that you created, because you are literally eating the inside of the planet out and putting all the weight on top of the shell. So now take your little hollow ball and put a whole bunch of weight on the top of it and see how long it's going to take for that sucker to crush, because that's what's going to happen to your planet. This planet's going to break up. Stop it. You don't need none of that stuff. Stop it. You're hollowing out your own planet. What do you think you're going to live on? When it all fucking tears apart and falls apart because you done ate it all apart. Come on, look at that ball. Look what you're doing to that ball. Gouge a hole in there all over the place. Take you and gouge it, color it black, because those are all black holes going in for the oil you sucked out. Now color a bunch of holes gold and dig them all over that ball and see what happens. Then silver all over that ball and platinum and uranium and whatever the hell else they want to pull out of that ground that they're leaving all these holes and caverns in, not to mention the natural holes and caverns that are in there from all these lava tubes and everything, and from the volcano activity, and caves that are made from all the water that goes through, because that's how caves are made, because the water makes the cave. So you know, when you go to live in a cave, it stays 60 degrees all year round. But, you know, there's always usually access to water in caves because caves are made from water. So, therefore, the water goes through the cave somewhere. Okay? But anyway, you're hollowing out your planet. What do you think is going to happen? My. You're your own worst enemy. I'm surprised you're even still going, you know, and we don't want you to destroy this planet. You know, they got you. They're sucking all this shit out of the planet so they can sell it to you, so to pay you for your slave labor or whatnot. But then, you know, your house starts to cave in because they sucked all this shit out, so now they're going to charge you to come in and pump some kind of liquid down in there that hardens to hold your house up in these holes. So, you know, we're taking and pumping everything out and we're filling it with foam, you might as well say. What do you think? Come on, people. Use your brain. Well, why do you think the planet's trembling and everything? Why do you think they're in such a big hurry all of a sudden? Oh, now we found there's planets close by. Yeah, because they need a new one to go destroy. Because they've about took out this one like they did the last one when they came here. So, you know, it's time to wake up and it's time to evolve. It's time to, you know, get a backbone. I mean, you're the backbone of this planet anyway. Without you, nothing happens. You're the worker ants. How many times have I told you? Civilizations do not get built. Cars do not get built. Food does not get grown. Animals do not get raised. Nothing happens without you. And the only reason why we ain't got to worry about that is because if we get rid of all you, we don't need all that stuff. Because, you know, we could just, you know, have enough to take care of our own needs and not what you need. So, you know, and that ain't the way it's supposed to be. It's not supposed to be like that. That's not what the grand design was meant to be, and it needs to stop. So you need to take up, but I don't care. Everybody around the world need to listen to me. You know, I love every one of you. I don't care if you love me back. I'm not asking you to love me back. I'm asking you to wake up and become an advanced civilization that you claim to be. Because an advanced civilization, as I have told you many times, will not have poverty, would not have hunger, would not have people starving to death here and there, would not have war and disease and everything else. This is all things that ignorant society has. You're not an advanced society. If you were an advanced society, you wouldn't be building nuclear weapons. You wouldn't be building nuclear plants. You wouldn't be using coal. You wouldn't be using fossil fuel. Fossil fuel comes from dead things like dinosaurs and stuff. So, you know, someday you're going to be the new fossil fuel. Yes, you are. You might as well be fossil fuel now. I mean, they're getting ready to turn you into Soylent Green. Remember that movie, Soylent Green? I don't know. It was years ago. Some of you might not remember that. Where they were feeding people. You know? And I've seen this. It's going to happen. People's going to be eating people. And people already are eating people. Over in China, they're shipping... I'm hearing they're shipping loads and loads, container loads of dead bodies over there. That's probably where all these homeless people's coming up missing, because we're checking into that. We're all over the streets because we got people that are living homeless and stuff that, you know, that are part of our group and everything, to keep an eye on things for us. Even I live homeless, you know, sometimes from here to here, because, you know, like I said, I'm not a rich person. I don't ever need to be a rich person. I don't need shiny boblets to complete me. I need you to complete me because we are all the same people, no matter what color you are, no matter what race you're from, no matter what religion you practice, no matter what sex you prefer to sleep with. We are all the same people. We are all stardust of the universe. Everybody is an alien. Everybody on this planet is an alien because this whole entire planet and was created from the abyss in space during the Big Bang. Your Big Bang theory, remember? So everything on this planet is alien. And life was seeded on this planet. All the building blocks of life is in the universe everywhere. As I've told you before, you just need the right circumstances to make the magic happen. And I know how to make the magic happen. I don't tell you guys everything. I only tell you bits and pieces because you ain't getting all my knowledge, not until these monsters get out of control. And I'll give you bits and pieces here and there to give you just a little tweak to get you interested and get you going. But I ain't going to give you all my secrets until this stuff is back in the hands of people, not monsters. Average people need to be in control. And this is what you need to understand. We've hidden messages all over the place that in little rhymes handed down from family to family. Mary had a little lamb whose fleece was white as snow, and everywhere that Mary went, her lamb was sure to go. Well, that's because Mary was the true goddess, and Jesus, the Jesus figure that these guys created, was this her teacher's aide. An apple a day keeps the doctor away. Yeah, because we're trying to tell you that natural Mother Nature food keeps the doctor away. Don't take their poisons. Do you understand? Keep the doctor away from giving you the poisons by eating Mother Nature's food. Natural, organic food. No chemical pesticides and stuff. Herbicides, insecticides, and genocide, like I've told you many times before. Wake up, people. You're sitting there and look at your family members dying of cancer and brain tumors and heart disease and liver disease and kidney failure and whatever the hell else you want to talk about. All come from these monsters that are killing you on purpose, and they charge you for it. Now, how insane is that? You're paying to murder yourselves. You're paying almost everything you get to murder yourselves. I mean, you got income tax, sales tax, land tax, this tax, that tax, fees, five-fold thumbs. They're the giants, and you're under their thumb. So figure it out. It's crazy. It's crazy. I've told you, my name means many things, and, many, many, many things. And anybody out there that knows anything about religion, I'm going to tell you a few things that my names mean. I have 3 original names. Okay. And they translate. The original root meaning, as I've told you before, translates to Fierce King the Destroyer. But these three names also translate into many other things, like a laurel tree, or the tree that stands alone in the clearing, the river that runs through, the mountain. These names are all given to people for symbolizing their power. You give each other names because you like your names. Because, I like the name Johnny, so I'm going to name my kid Johnny. Well, that's not how it's supposed to be done. Used to be in ancient times, you had to earn your name. Your name reflected on what you are and who you are and what you do. So, my names have actual meanings, even though there are several other meanings that other people has given it. Every language, there's different meanings for every name. So, but you got to get to the root meaning and to understand what these real meanings of these names actually are. So, figure it out, people. My name is in every religion that ever existed on this planet and beyond. So, and if you look in the palm of your hands, and look down the palm of your hands, I want you to hold your hands up in front of your face, fingertips up to the sky. And you will notice if you look hard enough, you will see that you have M inside your palms. On some only have one, some have none, some have two. The more you have, the closer related you are to me, of being in my bloodline, which is most of the world. Well, everybody's related to me actually, but the double M stands for the bloodline of Mary Magdalene. Okay, Eminem, Eminem. But if you got double M and they're really deep M's, the deeper the M's are in your hands, the more blood connected we are. So, and the lighter, the more distance apart we are. So therefore I can tell who I can breathe with and who I can't breathe with by looking at their palm of their hands. Because I don't want none of my kids ended up all messed up and stuff. There's a lot of responsibility when it comes to, like I've told you before, when it comes to doing genetics and genetic engineering and even breeding of animals and other species. I mean, there's a lot of factors you need to factor in order to come out with the best possible income. And you can even take out all the bad pieces once you figure out how to do what you're doing. I ain't gonna tell you, but some people already is getting the clue. But you can manufacture. You take out the bad parts and put in good parts, and you can select it. In the future, you're gonna have multiple parents. You're not just gonna have two parents. They're talking about you're gonna have 3, 4, maybe 6 parents in the future, because they're gonna take these people and they're gonna take all the best qualifications out of their genetic makeup, and they're going to design humans, which they've already have been doing since Hitler was around. They've been doing it. Hitler started that, but they'll try and tell you that it was all a joke, but it wasn't a joke. Them guys were really, really, really advanced. Plus, a lot of people don't realize Hitler was also part of the Knight Templar. He was part of the Vril Society. He was heavy into a magic and occult and all that stuff. And the Zionists were those are the Hebrew Jews. The Zionists were the ones that actually paid them and had them go in and get all these lower class Jews that they don't consider to be Jewish people at all. They don't consider them to be human, just like they don't consider you to be human, because they think they're the master white race and whatnot. But anyway, they're the ones that paid for all these the Holocaust and all that to happen, just like they're the ones that were behind people coming in when immigrants came to America, and the Native American people opened them with open arms, and that's where your Thanksgiving comes from. And then you monsters slaughtered them. I mean, there was 60 million Native Americans when you first came here, and now we're down to like 800,000 Native Americans left of us. So I mean, you just slaughter us. And yes, I do say us because I have Native American in me too. I have quite a bit of Native American in me actually too. I mean, I have quite a bit of everybody in me. So like I said, I'm the melting pot, the American melting pot. But yeah. But anyway, I mean, we need to get past all this, and it's time to grow up. It's time to get rid of all these nuclear weapons. It's time to get rid of all weapons. You don't need weapons. It's time to get rid of everything. You need to get rid of the nuclear power plants. Those are just a waste of time. Magnetic forces are everywhere in our universe and everywhere in these galaxies and stuff. There are some places that ain't got it, but most of it's everywhere. And you can run everything off magnetic forces. I mean, Tesla was going to do that over 100 years ago. He was going to give you free power. He was going to create vehicles that didn't need to use any of these oils or anything, these fossil fuels or none of that. But these rich, fancy people just wouldn't have it because, they want to make the money and they want to make you sick. So it's a twofer for them. They're a win-win all the way around. They get to kill you while they use you as slaves to make this money that they created to use you as slaves. So you don't realize you're slaves. You think you're getting paid, so you think you're not a slave, but you're a slave. That's all there is to it. You're all slaves, all 99% of you. Yep, every one of you is a slave. And they hate you. They despise you, they use you, they abuse you, they throw you away, they send you in to die by the hundreds and thousands and millions. Uh, they took one of our cousins, Oppenheimer, took his ideas and created them damn bombs they used on Japan and everything. Boy, I tell you. That's why I won't give them any of my knowledge, because you can't give them anything because they steal it from you. For one thing, you work for the government, everything you do belongs to the government, not you. And they got control, say, over everything, got total control over everything. You try to create something that's going to better humankind, and they use it to destroy humankind. It's insane, and it needs to stop. I mean, come on, people. Get a clue. Wake up. Get an ass. Stand up. Figure out that this is not the way things are supposed to be. This is not the way anything should be. And why are you putting up with it? You think that you're a proud American, or you're a proud whatever country you're from. You're proud to send your children off to these stupid ass wars and die for these freaking monsters that are using you. And you're proud. And the guys that go to war are proud. The ladies that go to war are proud to go die for these freaking idiots that are laughing at you while they hide and their children hide behind closed doors because they're not in war. At least Prince Harry went to war when he was Prince, because over there you gotta put in so much time in the war in order to get your royal benefits or whatnot, but guarantee you he wasn't on the same front as everybody else. That was all a show. Come on, people. These people don't put themselves in harm's way. They got you to sacrifice for that. You're all crazy. I can't believe this. And I come from a long line of military family, but we're the Fighting Irish. They don't call us the Fighting Irish for nothing. I mean, we've been involved in every darn war you could think of since the beginning of time, because we just get bored. If we ain't got a war of our own, we'll go find somebody else's war to go fight, because that's just the way we are. Ain't nobody else got a war, well, we'll just fight each other. Oh, my. I'm a god of war. But I want peace, damn it. I want my children to be happy. I want these monsters to get off my planet. I'm sick of them being here. At least go to a prison island, somewhere I ain't got to look at them anymore, or listen to them anymore. It's disgusting what they do. I just can't stand it. And I can't believe the rest of you are putting up with this. I mean, come on. I mean, if I was a really intelligent person, I'd take out and buy stocks in KY Jelly, because I'll tell you, by the time Donnie gets done, I'd be a freaking billionaire just like he is. The only problem is I always give all my money away to everybody anonymously, so I ain't got nothing. But it's just because I love you, and I hate to see you suffer. I've left myself go without plenty of times over the years. I've taken care of people all my life. That's all I've ever known. That's all I've ever been. And that's, from the time that I was young. My dad had cancer, and I took care of him until he died. Even though he was a mean son of a bitch, Jimmy, I took care of him until he died. I had to leave school to take care of him. And then, after that, he made me promise on his deathbed that I'd take care of my mom. So I was with her forever and taking care of her, and then my brothers and whoever else, some of my sisters and whoever else, family members and friends and other kids that my kids brought home. I mean, I've spent my whole entire lifetime dedicating my life to taking care of other people. Doing jobs for people and not charging them nothing for it, because I wanted to help them, because they couldn't afford to do it. And that's what everybody needs to do. I'd go, like I've told you before, I'd go pick up all my people. I spend 2-3 hours a day just picking everybody up and then drive to work. And I drive to other states and stuff sometimes, and then come back, and then spend another 2 and 3 hours a day after I came back to Michigan or wherever I was at, East Coast or whatever place, because I bop around. And I drive back to that state, and then I end up another 2 or 3 hours or whatever driving everybody back home, or I rent them rooms, and I always, I fed them, paid them, bought them drinks, and I treated them good because that's the way everybody should be treated. I shared my profits with my people. That's why I don't have fancy boats and mansions, and I don't have fancy cars, and I don't have fancy dancy jewelry and stuff. I lived the life of an honest person. I've done things in my past that I had to do to survive, and I took the blame for one of my brothers that got in trouble, and when I was 17, he was gonna get locked up in jail, and they were gonna take his kids away. So I turned myself in and told him that I did it, because I didn't want him losing his kids and stuff, And at that time, we thought I'd just get off with a juvenile record and it'd be over with, but that ain't the way it worked out. I ended up going to jail. And then he ended up being a worthless person anyway, so it was all for nothing, my whole entire life. Then I got married, I had 6 kids, I took care of all of them, and then I took care of some of their family, and I took care of other kids that they drug in and through the years. And I've got hundreds and hundreds of kids all over the world, hundreds of them. I mean, I've helped kids that were Columbine subjects, and some people thought they were going to go in there and massacre people in school or whatnot. And I've turned their lives around, like I've told you before, and made them upstanding citizens. And most of them are managers and stuff now, but you can't save everybody. I mean, I got some kids that didn't turn out so good too, and you can't save everybody, not your own children. And I've told you this before. But we got to try and save our world. I mean, the criminals need to be separated. I agree, but we need to separate the real criminals and not these poor people who are just trying to survive this madness. Because look, they keep taking more stuff away from the poor people. Every time they turn around, oh, we're sick of these poor people living off us. Well, nobody's living off of them. They're living off us. They're the parasites. That's all our money that they're using. That's our money they're spending. Why don't we just let all the American people and everybody else keep their own money? And then you ain't got to worry about it. Go make your own money, and then you ain't got to worry about taking care of anybody because nobody wants you in office anyway. Leave. We don't want you here. Go away. Like I've told you before, Washington ain't even part of the United States. It's British Columbia territory. So why is the United States government in British Columbia territory? Well, I'll tell you why. Because you never won the revolution. You never won the Civil War. You thought you freed the black people? You didn't free the black people. You're all slaves. And you always have been, ever since they took control. So, everything in your life and everything in your existence is illusion. Oh my God, man. And it's as easy as telling your dumb ass that, if somebody tries to tell you the truth, I'll tell you it's fake media. If somebody tries to tell you the truth, I'll tell you it's conspiracy theorists. Well, I'm going to tell you what, these people that you call conspiracy theorists, most of them are way more intelligent than most of you ever will be. And if you were intelligent, you might want to open your ears and open your eyes and see what they're trying to tell you and quit laughing at them. There are a few nut jobs, don't get me wrong. But just because you can't understand and wrap your mind around the concept of an idea does not make it insane. It just makes you not smart enough to understand it. That's all it is. So, like, making fun of people about aliens. Go look in the mirror. You are an alien. You're Stardust. You came from outer space. Everything is alien. Wow. I can't believe this, man. Y'all came from the primordial ooze. The primordial ooze came from space. Basically, your main building block of your existence is amino acids. And guess what? And that's what they just made not too long ago to make these synthetic beings that are going to be their next generation of slaves when they kill you. Because now they've modified a new being that is not a human being. or any of us. It is a new synthetic being, which will be the first step to the grays, what you call the grays. And they modified this, and they did it by creating a virus inside these building blocks that created, 172 more new amino acids to make this DNA strain feasible to even work. So, either you're going to be replaced by the synthetics or you're going to be replaced by robots, but either way, you're being replaced. And you better wake up. And we better figure it out. And you poor people out there, 99%, get tired of what's going on and say enough is enough. You got to put your foot down, people. You got to start banding together. I mean, every one of you, every color, every race, every group. I don't care if you're lesbian, gay, if you're straight. I don't care if you're white, black, purple, green, yellow. I don't care what color you are, what race you are, what you think you are, what you think you're not. I don't care. Just band together against these monsters and kick them the hell out of there. And put their asses in prison. We need to impeach Donald Trump and put him in prison. We need to take and arrest every one of his corrupted family, friends, and business associates and put them all in prison. We need to go through these damn politicians and weed through their buddy. And I mean, we're going to have to dig heavy and dig hard and dig deep and weed them all. Because there's a bunch of infested criminals throughout all in there. And there's only just a few good ones. I don't want them to accidentally get a good one because good people should never be locked up. Just like I said. Good people should never have to deal with these kind of insanities that's going on. You're ripping families apart and putting them in cages and putting children in cages. We can't become this. This cannot be the legacy of America. We cannot become this, people. You cannot let this happen anymore. This is wrong. And it needs to stop. And if you can't figure that out, then I guess that you're part of the problem. Because it's going to come down to a line. There's going to be a line drawn. And there's going to be two sides. And you better figure out what side you're going to be on. Because the poor is 99% of the world. And if they don't rise up soon, they're all going to be dead. And that's what these guys have got in plan. That's what these monsters got in plan. That's what these men and women and their monster children that take their place when they go is all got in plan. And they got all these underground bases that they built with your money to go hide in. And here, do you want to know something? They always running down Russia. Well, check this out. The United States got less than 200 bases that we know of for themselves to go down into when things go south. Russia's got over 10,000 underground bases in cities. China's got tons of underground bases in cities. All kinds of other countries around the world have got more underground bases in cities for their people than what your government, supposedly your government that is in British Columbia territory, has for you. Because they don't care about you. They want you to die. And look at what they're doing. That's what they're doing. And you're helping them. Some of you think that you're going to get it. I'm just going to help them get rid of the Mexicans, and I'll help them get rid of these people, and I'll help them get rid of those people. But you're taking out your people that's going to help you. You're taking out your army. I mean, because you're all poor. You're all the same. You're helping them get rid of these people and making yourselves weaker. And eventually, when them are all gone, guess who's going to be next? Guess who's going to be the last ones on the list? All the fucking idiots that help them get rid of everybody else to make them weaker. You need to figure it out. It's not the first time it's happened, Look through your history. Look over in Turkey. Look at that underground base over there in Turkey that, they found pottery in. It's over 30,000 years old. So it's at least 30,000 years old, if not more, because, you can't date rock, so you can't carbon date rock. They got big solid stone door like a blast door that they wheeled in front of it. Over 30,000 people plus animals, and they had an underground well that went right down into the underground well tap. Like I was telling you, the caves have underground wells that you could tap into. Well, that's what they did in order to survive whatever the hell they went down there to survive, which was probably on a Holocaust. Now, the governments, they got all their equipment and all these fancy bases, so when they go down there, they're going to have all their technology and everything when they come popping back out in a couple hundred years or 1,000 years or whenever it's safe. But all you people, like I told you before, living in caves, you're going to be back to the caveman days by the time all that happens. So by the time there is, if any of you do survive, like usually always somebody does survive deep down in the caves, deep down into the subways and whatnot, and sewer systems, ungodly, and everything. But caves would be a better bet. But you're all gonna be primitive by the time you come back up, because you ain't gonna have none of that knowledge. It's all gonna be gone. A couple hundred years, 1,000 years later, you're not gonna know how to build cars and everything. And even if you did, all the stuff that you used to build cars, everything's gonna be gone. So it's gonna be useless knowledge, because you got to have the tools in order to build everything else, in order to build the factories, in order to build the equipment, in order to build the cars. So you got to have the tools, and you got to build the tools. So it's all gonna start back over from scratch, except for when these idiots come popping up out of the hole. They've got all their technology and everything down in these underground bases. So now you're going to be up there, like I've told you before, you're all primitive again, doing caveman days, whatnot, and here you see all these people flying around in jets and planes and helicopters and boats and submarines and all this other stuff that, there are on some of these pyramid walls that they try and tell you that it just looks like that, that over decay time, the part of the stone fell off, and it just took the shape that looks exactly like helicopters, planes, and all that. If you buy that, you're ignorant as hell. But yeah, you're going to see all of them flying around. Everybody, you're going to be primitive standing, and you're going to be, oh my, what are these guys? These guys must be gods. These guys must be aliens. These guys must be whatever the hell you think they are. They're going to be your slave masters again. And they're going to start all over like they always do. And you're going to get back up to this point, and then it's going to happen again. And this is going to be repeating, because guess what? Because when it happens this time, this will be number 7 of your species alone, because you're all the same species. If you're human, you're all the same species. Human is a species. Human is a race, not color, not religion. None of that makes you a race. You're human. That makes you a race. Human race. Get it? Human race. Understand? So, you're all human. So figure it out. You're killing your brothers and sisters because they got a permanent suntan. Oh, yep, you're intelligent. Woohoo, boy. Your genius overflows. You're crazy. You're as crazy as they are if you buy all this bullshit. You go to them churches, and I told you, not all churches. Just these mega churches got all these liars. Because, these guys, years ago, when they changed it, everything, hundreds of thousands of years ago, but thousands of years ago, they've just been doing it all along, all the way up until now. They're still doing it every day. They still change it. So, come on, people. They're just changing your everything, and you're just sitting there and you watch it change. All of you, your grandparents and everything, they all know it's different than what it used to be. They just know that there ain't nothing they can do about it because they ain't got the balls to stand up. Well, guess what? We are a different society. This is a different time. We have breakfast with aliens on sci-fi in the morning. We're not scared of shit like these primitive people were. We're not into all this bullshit, these superstitions or whatnot, that everybody was so scared of. Ooh, the big bad devil, the boogeyman's going to come get you. Blah. Well, it ain't the devil. It's these monsters. They're the ones killing everybody. It's these mega churches. They're the ones going in and killing people. These churches now, they're joining back up with the government again, and now they're starting to get armed. They're getting weapons. Churches with weapons. What do you think's next? They're already dragging people off and segregating them and putting them in cages and taking their children away. What do you think's next? Pretty soon it's going to be back to the old public dragging people out and burning them in the middle of the town square on a damn stake again. They're going to be having the guillotines. By the government ordered 30,000 guillotines by a couple years back, by the way. So, they got guillotines just waiting. So they're going to drag people out to these guillotines, be whopping people's heads off and shit. And when you decapitate somebody, it takes 45 minutes for your brain to die. So when you land in that basket, and your head's laying in that basket, if it's facing down, it's still looking at the basket. If it's facing up, you're looking at the sky. But you see in the movies, and in the movie times, they reach down and they grab that basket, and they pick that guy's head up or that girl's head up or whatever it is, and they got it held up high, and they're showing the crowd the head. Well, it's not so much as they're showing the crowd the head, they're showing the head the crowd, because you're sitting there without a body, and you're still alive until you get brain damage from oxygen deprivation, and your brain has brain damage, but your brain's still alive for 45 minutes. So about 10-15 minutes, you're still seeing what's going on and what's happening. So you're sitting there and you ain't got no body, and you're being held up in the air by your hair. And you can see all these people looking at you. And then they show you the basket, and they show you your own body laying there on the damn thing where they just cut your head off at. I mean, how cruel is that? They pile rocks on people, put boards on them, pile rocks on them until their guts pop out, hang people, they drown people. I mean, and then nowadays, look what they do nowadays, this so-called religious war that they're in, going over and killing children and babies and bombing and burning and shooting and murder and rape and pedophilia and wars, all of that. And this is not an advanced civilization. Advanced civilization does not act insane. An advanced civilization does not destroy their planet. An advanced civilization does not turn a garden into a toxic wasteland. An advanced civilization don't do any of the things that you're allowing these monsters to do. Stop it. It is time to stop. It is time to evolve. It is time to grow up. It is time to fix all of this. And I need your help. One person can start an entire army. One person can change the world. And we're more than one person. We're 99% of the population. So let's change this mess. Let's stop this. Let's tell these people, we demand that these criminals step down out of office. We demand that our military, that our taxes pay for, that our family belongs to, take these criminal terrorists into custody and put them straight into prison. Because under terrorist regulations, they have no rights. And that's why they name other people terrorists. Because then they don't have to file the Geneva Convention. They don't have to file the Geneva rules. They don't have to treat people like humans. If you're a soldier, you got to follow the Geneva Convention rules. You can't. But if they label you a terrorist, then you have no rights, and they can do anything they want to you. They can hold you indefinitely without ever even charging you for a crime. And guess what? This is what they got planned for all of you. They're going to start doing this to all of you. And in the future, like I told you before, they're getting ready to do this profiling thing. And they even made a movie about it once. But they're going to do this profiling thing. So they're going to have this computer and decide that if you're going to have the possibility of being a criminal sometime in the future. I mean, it could be any kind of criminal, too. It could be anything. So, and if this computer decides that you might be a criminal, even though you've never committed a crime, you're going to go to prison for the rest of your life. Because they want lower slaves. Right now, you're a higher class slave. You got even higher class slaves. I explained there's different levels of slavery. But figure it out, people. These are the monsters. These are the evil. These are the ones that are destroying your planet, and you can see them do it. And you cheer them on like freaking idiots. Yay! Kill us! Poison our kids! Poison our animals! Poison our water! Poison our air! Poison our soil! Yay! We love you so much! What the hell is wrong with you? Man! I mean, wow! The how can I say this? The level of brainwash that you are at is just astonishing. I cannot believe that you cannot see this. I mean, you people could literally see this. As I've said before, you could literally see it with your own eyes. And if they told you it was fake, you would believe it. Just like that shooting down there at that concert, from the casino. They tell you this little old man done this. He carted up all these tons of weapons. You got all these, he's got guns all up the ass up there. Nobody's seen him go up there. There's security cameras all over the place, but nobody's seen him carrying all these guns up. And then supposedly he took and removed this 800-pound, hurricane-rated glass window out of its seat, so he could shoot people. So you tell me how a 50 or 60 or 50-something-year-old man or whatever, 60-something-year-old man is going to pick up a 800-pound window by himself and remove it so he could start shooting at people. There was repeated reports coming from all over the place, and I could tell you just from what I've seen that there was gunfire coming from more than one location because I was raised around. I'm from a military family. I know all that stuff. So I know everything. So, there was gunfire coming from everywhere. And there's reports of gunfire coming from everywhere. And there was actually government agents and everybody being seen shooting at the crowd. And not this guy. And they even had the guy next door that's seeing government agents in this guy's room with him tied, unable to move. And they were the ones shooting the people. And these people came up missing. And the maids came up missing. This is just how it happens. And then they just, it all gets swept away. And, I tell you, Donnie's always connected to everything. Well, the funny thing is the guy that actually originally owned that casino that all this happened in actually used to be one of Donnie's competitors. And was supposed to be running against Donnie, but the guy was like 100 and something years old or 99 something years old or whatever, and he happened to pass away a few months before this all happened. But he was planning on running against Donnie in the next election. So, he was just another one of Donnie's enemies. And then let's look at this wall that Donnie wants to build. I mean, there's more than one reason why Donnie wants this wall. Let's think about this. Look where it cuts through. How many farms is that cutting through? Organic farms. And they want to push them GMOs on you. And let's see, there's a great big golf course that it cuts through. Well, Donnie owns golf courses. So there he's taking out some competition by cutting through there. He's closing down them people's businesses and stuff. Then we got American citizens got to end up on the other side of the border that were Trump supporters, and now they're screwed. So, hey, that's what you get. And then, let's look at the casino. Donnie owns casinos, so he's tearing down this other guy's casino's reputation and his family that inherited from him the reputation of that casino by having this heinous crime committed from that casino on these people, even though it was your own government and Donnie that orchestrated it all, just like 9/11, like I explained to you all now. These people orchestrate everything. I mean, you got to ask yourself this. I mean, you look at ISIS and all these other terrorist groups, and they're going in and they're killing, these little villages and little towns and stuff. I mean, nothing really big. So they're not even really a threat. They're just a little slap. Well, why ain't they attacking United States military bases and stuff? Why ain't they making a bigger bang why ain't they going in and raiding these big corporations and these oil companies and these big billionaires that own businesses all over the world? How come they're not targeting them? because they work for these billionaires. It's all a big show. And when they do target us, that was paid to happen by these billionaires, which are also friends and family and your corrupted politicians. I mean, they're all the same people. The corrupted politicians, their family and friends that jointly own, the corrupted huge corporations, the banking institutions, the mega churches, the fake stock market, because they control all that stuff. They control everything in the world. They control when the stock market crashes. They control when it goes up. They control when you work. They control when you're laid off. They can control if you even have a job. They can make you go broke so they can take all your stuff back. They can repossess your cars. They can repossess your houses and stuff, and you end up homeless, and then you're spitting on homeless people, and eventually some of you are going to be the homeless people that you're spitting on because the same thing happened to them. So, I mean, it's all a big show, people. I mean, you need to figure this out because you're going the way of the dinosaur. Pretty soon, you're going to be the next generation's fuel, and these corrupted rich monsters are just going to pop back out from under the hole, and their descendants are going to be charging your descendants to buy you as fuel to drive around on, so they can start all over again for number 8. Well, hey, if you guys prefer this, I guess that's what's going to be, because I can't understand why you can't just not join together and figure this shit out. We don't need borders and walls. Borders and walls are not natural. They're not created this way. The planet was not created with borders and walls. Everything begins with these monsters destroying everything. And that's where it needs to end, is with these monsters not destroying anything. So we need to put them all in prison where they belong. We need to take all their power away. And we need to get rid of them. And we need to start over. And we need to restructure this government. And I'm willing to work with anybody around the world that wants to work with me, so we can restructure this and make a new global community council. And you're going to give women more power. That's all there is to it, because I'm putting my foot down. You're not treating women like you are anymore. It's done. These ladies, they deserve better than you've ever done for them. And you're disgusting. They're the ones that deserve to be in power. I mean, if it wasn't for them, none of you assholes would even be here. So, figure it out. These ladies need to... Ladies, girls, my angels, rise and take the power that you deserve. Because this is bullshit. Start grabbing groups and forming communities and groups, and start banding together and start having all these meetings and big cookouts, and let's start, growing our own medicines and stuff, our herbal medicines, our natural medicines and foods and fruits and everything. Stop buying from these huge corporations and major chains, and let's go back to the way that it was intended. You can still have vehicles. I can still design vehicles, but they don't have to be ran on this junk. They can be ran by solar power. They can be ran by magnetic power. They can be ran by so many different things. I mean, I've got so many different ways that I can design things that's all green and natural. And there's other ones out there that's already been designing it. And these guys just keep suppressing it. But we need to stop them. I love you guys. I don't want to see how you suffer like this. It's time that it stops. And you need to stand up for yourselves. We can't do it alone. We need your help. We need you to realize that these monsters are destroying everything. They're destroying you. And you need to stop them. You need to get a clue. So, but anyway, I actually made it almost a whole entire hour this time. It's amazing. You got less than a minute left. So, I love you all. Everyone around the world. I don't care if you love me back. It doesn't matter. Just love each other. That's all I ask. I'm the high king of the battlefield. But I let my queens and my councils rule the show. You know, I'm the God of war. My place is on the battlefield with my people. But I only fight for good, and I only fight if I have to. Because I will not back down, and I will not stop. So I don't care if you kill me. You've killed me thousands and millions and billions of times. You can keep killing me, because I'll keep coming back. It doesn't matter. Because you just can't get rid of me. And you know it. And you know that everybody killing themselves in these wars are senseless.